So a bit of time has passed. I've had a few packages have come through the post, and in those packages are a few things. So I've got a headset removal tool, which will hopefully be able to pull the bearing cup out. I've also got a couple of drifts in various sizes, which I'll also have a go with. Apparently all of these things are recommended for getting the bearing cups out. I have noticed that they are extremely well stuck, so fingers crossed one of these works. I also watched the YouTube video from Kognito-Moto on the headset replacement and the stem replacement, and I think they got kind of stuck at this step as well, or at least there's a very convenient cut from where they're struggling to get them out and then suddenly they're out. So I feel your pain. Here goes. So the first thing I'm going to try is using the small drift, which looks kind of like this. So this is the first one that I picked up. It's made by KS Tools and it's a 3mm drift. So I can see inside here there is a little bit of a lip. So my first attempt is to see if I can just get that onto it and then knock it out. So that's just about on there. So just now with a hammer, see if I can get that to stay buttered up against it. It's proving somewhat tricky. Okay, it's no immediate movement. I'm not giving up immediately. I just thought I'd try the other option. So this is another slightly bigger one. This one's made by Facom. It's slightly longer, so maybe that'll be a little bit easier to use. So let's have a try with that. See if that's any easier to get it on the lip of the maybe. So I'll put that in there. Not a great deal of movement so far. Let's keep going. Maybe it'll just suddenly give. So not a great deal of movement. Maybe I'm giving up too soon, but I also have this device, which is a Sealy part. I think various people make them, but yeah. So I think you just put it in and tighten it up, and then these jaws kind of open out. I do that, so that should grip the inside of the bearing. With I think the understanding being that it will then just pop out. So that seems pretty tight. Let me just grab a spanner. Okay, that's now pretty tight up against that bearing. Hopefully that's under the right bit of it. Yep. So then get a piece of pipe. So what I have here is a length of pipe and a hammer. So I'm just going to see if I can knock that in, knock that up from underneath, and maybe knock the bearings out. Maybe a little bit of movement. Not convinced. So no. Okay, now it's moving. Only a little bit, but it's that's definitely moving now. It's just very slightly up at the front there. Okay, that's coming out quite well. So I'm just going to switch that around, just so I'm pulling on the other two sides for a bit. There we go. Let's take that up. Okay. That was pretty close. That was probably 3mm out now. The end is nigh. So there we go, that's one out. Cool. So I think that was kind of the easy one. That's done, that races out. So now the tricky one at the bottom. In case you're wondering why I'm not using the removal tool that worked on the top for the bottom, is that underneath it's actually really tight and there's not a big enough gap in here to get the tool in. There is this groove, one on each side, one here and one up and underneath in there, which I think I can use. However, it's trying to get something to stay on what is a very narrow rim to be able to tap out. I'll keep trying, maybe I'll get there in the end. Had a break for a week or two while we had a few other things going on. Still haven't managed to get both head racers out of the Virago. Top one came out without too much bother. The bottom one is still stuck. I've gone through quite a few tools so far. So the first things I tried a short drift, which was just too flexible. Couldn't quite get an edge on it. Then tried a slightly larger one. Seemed to be making some progress, but then I took all the edges off it. I then got an even bigger one. Unfortunately went through that as well. And when none of those worked, I then went to the internet, and those fine gentlemen at Cognito Moto suggested I try the screwdriver with a steel bar. Tried that as well, still couldn't get it to budge. So I'd almost given up and was at the point where I was just going to weld a piece on and try and knock it out. Okay, so this is the Park Tool RT2 head cup steering race remover, and the way it works, this is the race that I'm trying to get out up in here, is I'll push that up through the steerer tube, and then these four bits will supposedly grip the outside of the bearing, the race, and then when I hit it from above it should just pop out. I've tried so many other things I've almost given up, but who knows, I'll give it one last go. Maybe this will be the time when it works. So here we go. Well, it's certainly a pretty tight fit trying to get that up. It's nearly there. What I'm not sure of is whether that's even got enough to catch though. Let's see. Well, it's not looking great. Yep. And therein lies the problem. Even that Park tool will not get on the edge of the race. So it looks like the welder it is. Shame. So I should have started with welding in the first place. It just came out really easily. It was a matter of just welding on a piece of metal, hitting it once with a hammer, and out it popped. So I think the heat helped to release it a little bit. But yeah, it was very straightforward in the end. I was a bit worried it might have welded the bearing to the frame itself, but no problems there. So the next video will be the strip down of the forks and conversion to the Virago. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you then.